Insect dog food seems to be the new thing in the pet food industry, but is this a fad or is there any benefit to feeding your dog insects? In this video, we are going to explore the 3 cons and the 3 pros of feeding your dog insects. The first benefit has to do with allergies, and allergies seem to be more prevalent than ever. What does insect dog food have to do with allergies? Well, we see that more and more dogs are coming up with allergies all over the place. Be it because certain dog breeds are overbred, and that is sadly a key thing in the pet food industry and in dogs overall, or so be it because a lot of people do not inform themselves and feed their dogs a low quality diet. Insect dog food seems to be hypoallergenic and a left field option if your dog is allergic to a lot of meat sources. We have now seen this trend a few times in our branches where people have come and they have explained that their dog is allergic to animal protein. And whenever we have tried to dig into which animal proteins the dog is allergic to, it seems to be that a few dogs are allergic to all meat sources. So insect protein, believe it or not, is truly hypoallergenic and a left field option if your dog is allergic to chicken, allergic to beef, or allergic to animal protein. Insects seem to be an alternative to all these, and insects are indeed packed with protein, and we know that proteins contain the essential amino acids that are the building blocks in your dog's health. The second point is that insect dog food is truly hypoallergenic. Now, whenever we talk about hypoallergenic, and this ties up to number 1, it seems to be that a lot of people say, oh, this food is hypoallergenic, but we now know that the list in hypoallergenic ingredients has never been defined. So guess what? Manufacturers will actually put whatever they want in the food and tell you it's hypoallergenic, and they will put inflammatory ingredients, they will put even sugar or dextrose in the food and call that hypoallergenic, and this happens for dogs and cats. However, insect dog food seems to be hypoallergenic. Why? It's a left field option. So if you are looking for a truly hypoallergenic food to try your dog with allergies, insect dog food seems to be a good alternative. And the third benefit I see is that it's a highly digestible protein. If you think about animal protein, if you eat pork or if you eat lamb, those will tend to be a lot richer than, say, chicken or say something else. So whenever we talk about highly digestible protein, insects are highly digestible. Why? They lack a lot of fat and they are built literally with a lot of protein, and that seems to be highly digestible for dogs. And another side benefit I see is that they actually require a lower carbon footprint. So if you are aligned with that sort of ethos of reducing your carbon footprint and the carbon footprint of your dog, feeding your dog insect dog food could be a benefit. Now let's talk about some cons and let's talk about some problems associated with feeding insects to your dog or insect dog food. The first thing I want to say is that insects aren't part of the whole prey ratios. What does this mean? That if your dog were left to their own devices, they wouldn't necessarily go and eat insects. They would eat small prey, small mammals, and the occasional berries maybe. They wouldn't go for ladybirds or any other insect whatsoever. So this seems to be a bit of a strange novelty, a bit of a strange food source for your dog because it isn't necessarily part of their dog's whole prey ratio, and it's not really biologically appropriate. So whenever we talk about dog food, we don't associate dogs with eating insects, do we? The second problem I see is a problem that is extremely prevalent with dog food nowadays, and this is that a lot of manufacturers will actually put whatever they want in the food, let's say insect dog food, and then pack it with low quality ingredients. Ingredients is arguably everything that matters in dog food. If you think about what goes into the blender, That's what's really important in dog food as well. So if we put a bunch of freshly prepared insects, for example, and then we add up the recipe and we put in wheat gluten, corn, wheat, barley, rice, then we are diluting down and we are diminishing the quality of that dog food. So one of the downsides I have seen with certain insect dog foods is that the quality of the ingredients, apart from the insects, isn't very good. And last but not least is, how are these insects harvested? How are they caught? Pesticides, chemicals, how are they processed? If you think about the vast amounts of insects that require a commercial dog food, one has to question the provenance and one has to question where those insects come from and how they have been living their whole lives. What sort of barriers and what sort of quality control mechanisms does the manufacturer have when it comes to their insects and how they are caught, how they are harvested for your dog's food? As we said in point number 2, the quality of the ingredients really does matter and is arguably the most important thing in dog food. So assessing the quality of those ingredients, of those insects, has to be literally one of the most important things. It is true that whenever we see a new trend, that whenever we see a new innovation in the pet food industry, we tend to be a bit skeptical and we tend to be a bit crazy at the same time about that particular trend. So it is for us to decide and it is for us to put the quality control mechanisms in place so that manufacturers and that companies really do adhere to the highest standards for the food we give our pets. So if you are feeding your dog an insect dog food or are thinking about feeding your dog an insect dog food, the most important thing is, why do you want to do it? That's the most important question. Why do you want to do it? Do you have a problem with allergies? If so, what kind of allergy? We know that there are nutritional allergies, environmental allergies, and breed-specific allergies. Which allergy category does your dog fall into? Also, you cannot be swayed by marketing labels. Things like hypoallergenic, things like diabetic, any marketing labels on the front of the bag of food tend to be just that, marketing, and they are there to entice you to buy their product. It's not there for you to get the benefits. The benefits are on the back of every bag of dog food you feed your dog. I would be very curious to see what you think about insect dog food. What experience do you have with it? Do you agree with it or do you disagree with it? And by the way, if your dog seems to have allergies, I want you to watch this video next because it might just solve the problem without you spending any more money.